Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's astrologer Eric Rosen for your Viking Rising Astrology Horoscope for October 25th. This is a Wednesday of 2023. Headed deeper and deeper each day that goes by into Scorpio season, into the Halloween season. And I think it's a special Scorpio season, because last time we had Scorpio season, last year we had the South Node here. So we weren't really getting the truth. We weren't really getting the true turn up of events of what was really going on, with things, especially wherever it lands in your chart, which, by the way, if you want to get your own private astrology reading, pop into that link in that bio. You can book there. But I think today with that moon in Aquarius, this can be, I would call it some subconscious scrubbing. It could even be grief work for some people, seeing, things that come up in the past, maybe even, destinies that we thought that were going to work out that weren't, but that's okay. This is about clearing space for, the true paved destiny that's going forward, the actual higher level spiritual one. This is, of course, Uranus, Jupiter, and Taurus. And so we've got to keep the bigger, wider picture of like, what is the longevity, sustainable orientation? What's the divine feminine all asking of us, right? Like sometimes what it's asking of us is to just disconnect from our bullshit of our looping subconscious thinking and not try to just grind it out and change our minds, but actually go into the flow of, just having more fun and having more play and seeing that vibration is, of course, going to create a little ripple effect, right? Which is a beautiful thing. That's what we want to be stepping into. We want to keep a positive. I don't think we're going to slip on any banana peels today. I think it's more just like not throwing judgment at anything that feels like it's a release. We don't need to cry over spilled milk. It reminds me of the Five of Cups in tarot. It's like there's still, like, I think it's like the three cups is spilled, but there's still two full. It's like, but it's the illusion. Like, you don't lack for anything. Like, that's what Mars now with Mercury and the Sun in Scorpio without a South Node, like it was last Scorpio season last year, is teaching us that it's like, hey, like you can always be satisfied, you can always be full, especially based upon the actions that you're taking, the thoughts that you're having. I would really work on maintaining an empowered mindset today. This is not a time to force sabotage, into thinking that we need to fix something crazy in our life or something's not going right. This is a lot more just letting things release. We're heading into release territory, right? It's a lunar eclipse in Taurus. It's not going to be the strongest lunar eclipse, I would say, especially because it's happening in a sign where the North Node's not there. Normally, I would say, holy crap, if the North Node was in Taurus like it was last year, that would be a different story, which we did have that. And that was a huge collective purge. And I think we're still picking up the pieces of what that means for our value systems, talks of currency reset, or even just resetting our minds about what manifestation really is in our lives, what prosperity looks like, right? This is a time for us to come back into a deeper sense of knowing of our wizard power, our abilities to manifest, to step into greatness. This is not a time to get hung up in like the little details and start thinking that just because something's not moving forward efficiently in our own weird subconscious illusion of how fast things should happen and being impatient doesn't mean that things are going wrong and that we've got to troubleshoot, try to problem solve, fix. This is way more about seeing that the analytics actually lie in, I would say, the appreciation for the work that we're putting in and maintaining a positive mindset vibration. It could seem like it's not going anywhere, even though that moon is not on Saturn because it's passed over, but with Saturn stopped and barely moving, about to go stationary direct in November, early November, it's like we can sketch ourselves out thinking, somehow that, the magic isn't like really happening, when it's like, well, what if it's the wind up, the wind up of the Harry Potter spell right before it gets cast, and we can't worry too much ahead. It's like, is the magic actually even going to work for us? We got to just like, even just get the stance right, like get the positioning down. This is, I still think of positioning sort of lunar eclipse that we're headed into about making sure that we're putting ourselves into valuable territory. Have we learned our lessons? Have we learned how to not use the Scorpio energy to charge out of the gate and, act like fucking Smeagol, like acting like he didn't need to eat because his precious ring was everything he needed. And then all of a sudden he's hungry and ravenous and he's just like eating like trash on the side of the road. This is where we very much more want to be in integrity and look at the higher picture, make sure that like whatever it is that we're thinking about achieving is actually coming from a place of a deeper sense of purpose, that releasing old destiny tracks that didn't work out, that, were probably fabled to begin with, that, or we just chose a different life path, whatever it is. I think we'll know it on a day like today. It's a lot more about seeing where the things that we're doing, they have to mean something. We don't want to make negative meaning out of things with our thoughts. We want to more just like work and take action towards things that feel fulfilling. This is actually like, how would you live your life if you already had the Holy Grail? What if you had the elixir of life? What if you knew that you were an eternal being and you didn't have to worry so much about this thing or that thing or these fears, those fears? Like, how would your methodology change? Would you go more to your edge? Would you be more passionate? Would you have less self-doubt? Would you, stop trying to connect the dots and create stories and things dealing with time that is very much, I think being erased from our subconscious with that Saturn finishing its retrograde? It's to like get out of like the anvil territory of wishing an old past situation could come back in some weird way, reminiscing the past, glorifying it, especially anything, pre-2020, well, pre-2012, but even, pre-2020, like that sort of thing, depending on where you're at on your journey. This is just weird territory where, believe it or not, too, some people are going to act like they're coming alive and they're not really. They're just zombies with Halloween costumes, like trying to recharge their batteries. And we more so want to make sure that we're actually really rooting into the true subconscious nature of what is spirit, what is God really communicating to us, what is he really asking of us, and to go into those spaces. I don't think this is a time for us to pretend that we know. I think can feel a little bit blindfolded on a day like today. It doesn't mean the energy is bad or stale. I think it's good. I think it's just, the thing that we have to watch for is what's the mind doing on a day like today? Where are we letting the motor run? How long are we letting it run? Are we giving ourselves little breaks? It's Moon in Pisces, right? So it's like, it's okay to find a flow, to find, like, if anything, like the escape isn't like through things that we know are toxic patterns. The escape, if anything, is pulling back from the analytics and the negativity that we can sometimes have with the human experience and trying to fix things or problem solve. And the escape goes more into, escaping into our celestial pod, if you will, and things like, prayer, meditation, whatever way that you like to connect with spirit. That's going to be the thing that I think, puts, the wind beneath your sails, like gives you levity, gives you your angel wings back. And then it's a surrender after that, and realizing that in that transcendence of remembering that you are much more than you can possibly imagine and are capable of so much more, that then after that, it just becomes a descent back into the human journey to put the fires out of any chaos, anger, negativity, and go, you know what, I'm putting an end to this. I'm done with this. I'm releasing this today. I'm moving into a brand new territory by completing this. Like I'm making sure the zombies are buried. Like it's done. It's a done deal, and we move forward, and we can feel confident and creative in moving forward on a day like today, when we know that there's no more skeletons hanging in the closet. So great day for release. Yeah. If you want to get that reading, pop into that link in that bio. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cease.